Alright, moving on. We got is 24. Alright, so next up we got is Baroque work and Skypiea. This is where it starts. For Skypiea and Jaya. Jaya is a miniature arc, and then Skypiea is a full-on arc. So we have the two monkey brothers. We got Bellamy, and then Nico Robin down there, and Luffy in the middle. So how this starts is that they're leaving Alabasta, right? And then Naomi's log pose, which directs to the new island, is pointing up. And yeah, so they're like, what's going on here? The log post is never wrong. And so then this giant ship falls down and almost hits them and stuff, and there's this wreckage, and they go underwater with some swimsuits and diving gear and stuff, and they end up on Jaya later on to that island, and there's this ship guy named Nolan, and he can get them to Skypiea. He can put wings on their ship, and they go up this waterfall that shoots them straight up into Skypiea. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, we have the back here, and we got Vivi and Luffy. And I hear Vivi comes back later in the story, so I cannot wait to get to that point in time, because I'm not caught up. Alright. Moving along here, we got volume 25, and we got the goat collects the money, which is from one of the admirals or marines of some kind. We have Shanks, we got Buggy, we got Blackbeard, and we got Luffy. So yeah, yeah, it's interesting when they get to Skypiea, because it says like welcome to heaven and stuff, and Blackbeard is trying to chase them down, but he doesn't make it to Skypiea, but the Straw Hats do. So there's the back, and yeah, it's really cool with like the water and the sea creatures and all the Straw Hats. Alright, and then we got volume 26, where they get to Skypiea, and everybody there, the Skypians have wings, and they have a different greeting that means hello. I forget what the word is, but yeah. And they have interesting fruit there. As you can see, Chopper's sucking out of a fruit that's like green, looks like a green pumpkin of some kind. But I bet it's pretty good. And an island, it's Skypiea. There we go. Doom. Yeah, Oda likes to write Doom in the manga. And we have a beautiful illustration on the back right there with birds and the Straw Hats. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 27 with the priest, the god Eneru, or Enel. You can call him either one. And Luffy has wings, and they fight all these priests. The old god gets defeated and has to escape and stuff and whatnot. And there's like these giant snakes called Kami, and the Skypians treat them as gods and stuff, which is kind of interesting. And then there's these, I think it's these Shandians that are fighting these Skypians over territory and stuff. So there's a lot going on, but it's really cool. And yeah, for One Piece, they actually have movies that have better pacing, the current quality of animation, and they're just great to watch. So I would highly recommend those. But on the back, we got the London kind of setting with the giant clock in the background. It's kind of interesting, like all the different places that One Piece could go in its story. Alright, so we have volume 29 with the giant snake that's treated as a god. We have Konus, we have the old god, or Kami. We got Luffy in the middle again. And yeah, Eneru or Enel. And I love the color pages. You can buy those compendiums or color walks, which compile the color pages that Oda draws. But anyways, back to Enel. He's trying to take over the world. So, and he wants to go to Earth and get off Skypiea and kind of take over the world, at least as far as I remember. But yeah, so there is volume 29. And then we have the back with some pink petals, and Chopper is asleep, but the backstories are so emotional. I remember at the end, Chopper was like crying, singing the pink petals, which makes him think of the doctor who unfortunately passed away. But yeah, we have volume 30 with Eneru and Luffy. So yeah, it's interesting because their two devil fruit powers kind of cancel each other out, and yeah, but they still fight, and it's interesting. And Luffy isn't having any of Enel and his priests and him trying to take over the world and Skypiea and all his wrongdoings and stuff. So yeah, and then on the back we have them all taking a nap, doing a picnic of some kind. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 31, and we have the Shandians and the Skypians and their backstory with Nolan, which was very emotional, and Nolan like cures the people's illness and stuff, but things happen and then they end up not ever seeing each other again, these two. But yeah, definitely emotional stuff. And then we have ramen with some boar pigs, and Sanji is serving up the food, of course, because he's a cook. Makes sense. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 32. So, this is the end of Skypiea, moving along into Water 7 and Enies Lobby, which by far my favorite parts of One Piece so far. And there's this bird that can only go like south, only one direction. It can't fly in any other direction, which is kind of funny. And yeah, we have the Straw Hats like slowly, with this giant octopus that's attached to the Going Merry, slowly letting down air until they reach the water level. So yeah, Usopp's like trying to hang on in the back. And then we have a really colorful illustration right there with them playing musical instruments, which is very fun. So many ways One Piece could go in story-wise. So we got volume 33, and it's a Davy back fight. We have Foxy, the captain of the Foxy Pirates. They do some mini games, some sports of some, and yeah, it's interesting to see that happen. I remember, and this is just the volume. This is the whole story of the Foxy Davy back challenge. But there's a cool couple of parts about it. So there's a part where Zoro tells Chopper to man up because he's crying because he's gonna leave the Straw Hat crew because that's the kind of the rules of the game. But Zoro isn't having it, and he tells Chopper to man up, and Chopper does. So another cool part had the Froggy Monsters, where it's Zoro and Sanji, and yeah, they have to battle them in a sports match. And then like Foxy keeps cheating during the games, which is not good. Alright, so moving on here, we got volume 34 with the CP9 members. They're disguised as shipwrights and shipmakers. We got Rob Lucci, the villain, the main villain of this arc. We got Luffy. We have Iceberg, the mayor of Water 7. They actually tried to assassinate Iceberg, which is not very good. And Nico Robin like leaves the crew. So does Usopp. Usopp and Luffy have a fight, and a lot of emotional things happening. A lot of things happening, we get to see Frankie for the first time here. On the back, we actually have Luffy and the Straw Hats going on a train in the sky, so that's cool. But the Island of Water 7 is really cool because it's like there's a sea train, and it's just really well designed and really creative. So we have volume 35 with Frankie's warehouse, and yeah, we have Usopp, Luffy, and then Frankie, and then Frankie's ladies there, and Frankie's crew, and they steal all the money that they got from Skypiea because the people there gave them some money in gold. Or actually they were going to, but then they ran away, and they could have gotten more money, but they thought they were mad at them. So yeah, so we have volume 35 with the back with the Straw Hats all like parachuting down. Love that. That's the second manga box set's front cover with that illustration. So it gets interesting because they're trying to assassinate Iceberg. Nico Robin's with these CP9 members, they work for the world government, and they're trying to unearth this island destroyer that Frankie's like friend and support Tom. They made that, like, the blueprints for it, and CP9 wants it along with Rob Lucci, but they can't let them have it. So there is Luffy wearing a crown, very cool, with a bunch of meat and treasure. Fits him very well. Alright, so moving along here, we got volume 37. I love this cover. This is one of my favorite covers of all of One Piece. So colorful, so cool, and yeah, you can see Zoro, Nami, Luffy, Chopper, Frankie, and Iceberg in the sea train. And Frankie actually gets hit by the sea train and turns his body into a cyborg in the backstory for Frankie, which is very emotional, which is a common theme in One Piece with its backstories. So we have volume 38, and we got the mermaid, and we have Sogu King, basically the superhero version of Usopp, and Luffy and Chopper are amazed by it, and there's like giants and stuff, and they're trying to save Nico Robin from being executed. So kind of a big mission to do that. Also, the Going Merry isn't really a well-functioning ship anymore. It's been through a lot, and it gets really emotional, and they burn the ship down, and they later on they build a new one. Alright, so we got volume 39, and yeah, we got Frankie and some of the people trying to stop them from saving Nico Robin. There's the back, which is very like Japanese. It's very cool. Kind of like style of clothing and stuff. Alright, and then we got volume 40. And I love this illustration on the back. One of my favorite illustrations ever, if not my favorite one, actually. It's actually on the back of the manga box set too. So, alright. So we have can't recall his name at the moment, but he fights Luffy. Luffy goes into Gear's second form while fighting. There's these giants from Elbaf that are helping out Luffy, and it gets intense, to say the least. A lot going on. So we have volume 41, and we got Nico Robin and her backstory with her mom, her mother. We got Sogo King, and we got Luffy, and like this island with all this library and this all this history and stuff. It's getting real close. They have to save Nico Robin, and they have to defeat the CP9 members and save her in time. So we got volume 42, and we got the CP9 members with Rob right front and center, and they all like transform, and they have devil fruit powers, which there's a certain class of that for animal devil fruit power users. There's a name for it. I can't recall at the moment, but yeah. So yeah, they have to fight them all and stuff. They have to stop them and save Nico Robin. Alright, and then we got volume 43. So yeah, we got Zoro, we got Sogo King, we got Sanji, we got Chopper going berserk in his berserk form. Where he kind of loses everything and his sense of direction and like what he's doing. Sense of direction, by the way, Zoro is not good at that, but he is a great swordsman. So yeah, on the back we have a gorilla, and then we got Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro, the trio monster they're known as, because of how strong they are. And Sanji's like leg with the fire flames is really cool. Alright, moving along here, we got volume 44 of One Piece. We got Rob Lucci and Luffy heading, button heads and fighting and stuff. And we got Nico Robin right in the middle. And yeah, that's the second to last volume of Water 7 and Enies Lobby. And Enies Lobby is basically the location where they're going to execute Nico Robin. Alright, but they don't do that, and they escape, luckily. And Rob Lucci gets defeated by Luffy. So yeah, we have volume 45, and yeah, so yeah, we get Ace here, we got Blackbeard, Shanks, and Whitebeard, Kobe, Helmeppo, Luffy's grandpa Garp. So there's that. Alright.